You've felt it, haven't you? A subtle shift in the air around your heart. A sense that someone is finally seeing you, not the version you show the world, but the you beneath it all. The you who keeps making room for love, even when silence stretches long between moments. And you're right. The angels whisper that a veil has lifted in his heart. And now he sees you. Clearly. As if the fog that once obscured his vision has been cleared away by something divine. But the timing, the timing of this awakening isn't what you imagined. Why now? It's the question that echoes inside you. The angels say, he couldn't see you clearly before because he wasn't ready to see himself. His truth has been locked behind doors he dared not open. Until your presence, your light, made the shadows dance and speak. You weren't placed in his path for ordinary love. No. God orchestrated this meeting as a sacred reminder of who he is, of who he forgot he could become, of the kind of love that doesn't demand but awakens. The angels show him tossing and turning at night, gripped by the echo of your voice, the memory of your eyes. And not because of desire, no. Because something about you feels like home. Not the home he grew up in, but the home he lost somewhere along the way. You were sent to stir a longing that had gone dormant, to call back the pieces of his soul scattered across past lifetimes and heartbreaks. And now that he sees, now that his eyes no longer deny what his spirit recognized the moment he met you, he's afraid, not of you, but of what it would mean to love you fully. So, he hesitates. Not because he doubts you, but because everything in him is changing. And change, even the sacred kind, can feel like a storm. Still, the angels want you to hear this. He has already chosen you in his spirit. Even if his hands haven't reached for you yet. Even if his words are still silent. Even if his timing doesn't align with your desires. Because spiritual timing is never human. It unfolds in divine rhythm. Like waves meeting the shore, not on the shore's call, but when the moon pulls. So wait, not in stillness, but in faith. Wait, not for him, but for the divine plan already in motion. For we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7. Let this truth settle in your bones. Your presence was not a coincidence. Your love is not unnoticed. And what is meant by God can never be missed. There is a weight he carries, heavier than words can express. A silence shaped not by indifference, but by wounds still echoing through the chambers of his heart. He doesn't know how to articulate it. Not because he doesn't feel, but because he feels too deeply. The angels say, he has spent a lifetime building walls, so no one could see how soft he truly is inside. And then you arrived. Without warning. Without asking for anything. Just being. Just loving. And suddenly, the walls didn't fit anymore. Suddenly, his armor began to rust. You perceive his distance and wonder, did I do something wrong? But no, beloved soul. You did something right. You saw him. You loved him. And that terrified him more than rejection ever could. The angels are clear. He was never taught that love could be safe. That he could be chosen without having to perform. That he could be enough, even with his brokenness on display. This is not a battle of logic. It's memory. It's the memory of every time he reached out and found only absence. It's the residue of a heart that has loved before and been shattered. It's the fear that your tenderness is temporary. And so he pulls away. Not because he wants to lose you, but because he doesn't know how to hold on to something that feels real. You are not the trigger. You are the mirror. And when he looks at you, he sees the version of himself he is not yet brave enough to become. The angels whisper. You awaken something that had been buried for such a long time. He mistook it for pain. But it was healing, starting to bloom. He is not cruel. He is not careless. He is scared. Scared of joy. Scared of intimacy. Scared of a love that doesn't require masks. And so this is where you find yourself now. In the space between his fear and his desire. Between who he was and who he longs to be with you. Do not let his silence define your worth. Do not let his confusion dim your light. He is unraveling. And you, divine soul, are the gentle unwinding thread. You don't need to fix him. Just hold your own light steady. Because when the storm inside him calms, yours will be the glow he finds his way back to. You have given so much of yourself in silence, waiting in the spaces between his words, hoping that your softness might soften him too. But dear heart, the angels are close tonight, and they want you to turn that tenderness toward yourself. They say, she must remember she is the flame, not the moth. You were never meant to burn for someone else's awakening. You were meant to shine, even when no one is watching. There is beauty in your patience, yes. But there is wisdom in your boundaries. You do not need to dim your light to be loved. You do not need to change your rhythm to match the silence of another storm. Love, true soul-level love, does not ask you to disappear. It asks you to remain steady, whole, glowing with your own fire. The angels are saying, she thinks love means waiting, but it also means choosing. Choosing herself. Choosing peace. Choosing rest. He is in his process. And yes, it is sacred. But so is yours. You are also transforming. Also shedding old skins. Also becoming. And your growth cannot be paused while he finds his way. So take a breath, beloved soul. Ask yourself, who am I when I am not hoping for him? What do I crave beyond being seen? What soft parts of me still ache for my own touch? This journey is not about losing yourself to prove you are worthy of being chosen. This journey is about remembering. You were already chosen. By God. By the stars that aligned for your birth. By the angels who watch over you with unwavering faith. So, tend to your heart the way you would tend to his. Speak kindly to your inner wounds. Give yourself the safety you once wished he would provide. Because healing doesn't wait. It whispers. And it begins in you. The angels wrap you now in light. Not to prepare you for his love, but to remind you that yours was never lacking. He looks at you, and something in him trembles. Not from fear of you, but from the truth you reflect back to him. The angels say, she is not a mirror. She is a revelation. Your presence illuminates the very parts of him he spent years burying. The shame, the longing, the dreams he swore were foolish. You see, your love is not soft. It is sharp. It cuts through illusion. It peels back the layers. And that's what makes it sacred. You didn't come to stroke his ego. You came to draw his soul out of hiding. And now he stands there. Not in front of you, but in front of himself. Seeing who he has become. Seeing who he could be. The angels whisper. She loved him with eyes wide open. And that's what broke him open too. You may feel like you are the one waiting. But in truth, he is the one being drawn toward the edge. not by pressure, but by presence. Your presence. You are a force, not loud, but unyielding, like water on stone, reshaping everything over time. And he cannot look away. It's not about your beauty, though he sees that. It's not about your kindness, though he cherishes that. It's about the way your spirit speaks a language he forgot he knew. A frequency that matches his original self. The one before heartbreak, before hardness. You make him remember. And that remembering is painful. Because it means letting go of the masks he wore to survive. It means facing the fact that maybe, just maybe, he's been living small. So when he retreats, don't take it as rejection. Take it as resistance. To growth. To truth. To the kind of love that doesn't just heal, it transforms. And that, dear soul, is what you carry. The power to shift a heart back into alignment with its origin. That is why the angel sent you. Not to save him, but to reflect what was always there. A man becoming brave enough to choose truth over fear. Love over habit. You over safety. There is a stillness around him now. But it's not silence. It's awakening. The angels say, he's not distant. He's listening. Not to you, but to what you stirred within him. For the first time in a long time. He's feeling emotions that don't fit neatly into categories. Not desire. Not admiration. Something more ancient. Something his soul recognizes, but his mind doesn't yet know how to hold. And so he's quiet. Not because he's forgotten you, but because he's remembering himself. The angels show me flickers in his energy. The way your laughter echoes in his thoughts. The way your name rests just beneath his breath. This isn't obsession. It's recognition. And recognition is holy. You awaken something. A longing he didn't know he carried. A truth he thought he had buried for good. A hope so delicate, it scares him more than loss. This is not the man he was before you. And he knows it. He walks through his days now in quiet reverence, as if every moment might hold a trace of you. A song reminds him. A phrase echoes your voice. And sometimes, for a second too long, he closes his eyes just to feel if your spirit is still near. The angels say. Her presence shook the sleep from his heart. And now he dreams differently. There is no going back to what he was before you. No returning to the numbness that once kept him safe. Because you cracked open a space in him that aches for more. Not just more of you, but more of truth. More of feeling. More of life. This awakening will not happen all at once. But the signs are here. He's gentler with others now. He thinks twice before he speaks. He notices the sky. These are small revolutions, but they are real. And they are because of you. You were not the storm that shattered him. You were the light that called his soul back to the surface. And now, dear one, he is starting to rise. You can feel it. The turning tides. The way he leans in, and then pulls back again. It's not just you. The angels are watching too. They whisper. He returns because he never really left. But he runs because he doesn't know how to stay. This is the rhythm of someone learning how to feel. How to trust. How to let the walls crumble without fearing the collapse. He circles back not out of indecision, but out of fear that love this real will undo him. And in many ways, it already has. Because no one prepared him for a connection that holds a mirror to his soul. No one taught him that love can be gentle and still shatter everything false. You didn't demand that he change. You simply were. And that was enough to unravel everything he thought he had under control. So he retreats. Again. And again. And again. But the angels say, each time he leaves, the echo of you follows. Each time he returns, he's a little less afraid. This cycle is not cruelty. It's transformation. But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It doesn't mean you should shrink each time he steps away. It doesn't mean your heart should be a revolving door for someone who's still learning how to knock. It means you've become his awakening. And awakenings are rarely linear. This love does not fit into timelines. It doesn't obey rules. It breathes. It trembles. It stretches and recoils and tries again. Because that's what hearts do when they've been starved and suddenly taste truth. The angels are with you, carving patience into your bones, giving you strength not just to hold space for him, but to hold space for yourself. You are not crazy. You are not needy. You are not imagining this. You are witnessing the slow, sacred birth of a man remembering how to feel. And it's messy. And it's sacred. And it is not your job to clean it up. Let him return. Let him flee. But let yourself remain grounded in your own truth. Because this dance is not just about his healing. It's about your remembering, too, that your love was never the problem. It was the invitation. There is a tenderness you've offered him that no one else has dared to give. Not because they didn't care, but because they didn't know how to see the wounds he hides. You did. Without needing a map. Without needing permission. The angels say, she didn't touch him with her hands. She touched him with her presence. That's why it lingers. Why even your silence feels like comfort to him. Because your love doesn't push or pull. It simply exists. And in that existence, it heals. He may never say it aloud. But you are the balm his soul had forgotten it needed. Not in grand gestures, but in the way you listen. The way you stay soft when life turns hard. The way your spirit never asks him to be anything but human. The angels show him quietly replaying moments. Small, ordinary things. You laughing. You saying his name without expectation. You seeing the parts of him that even he tried to erase. And somehow, without asking, you became his sanctuary. He doesn't know how to thank you for that. He barely knows how to receive it. But his heart, oh, it remembers. Every ounce of kindness. Every time you chose compassion instead of defense. Every time you allowed your love to be an offering, not a negotiation. He thinks of you in quiet hours. Not because he needs anything from you, but because your love is the one place where he never felt broken. The angels say, love like hers doesn't demand change. It invites it. And that's what's happening now. His inner world is shifting. Not through pressure, but through the slow, undeniable truth. That he wants to become a man worthy of the peace he feels when he thinks of you. This is not about saving him. It never was. It's about reminding him what wholeness feels like. And in doing so, you've also reminded yourself that you can love deeply and still protect your own light. That healing doesn't come from waiting, but from witnessing with grace. He may never say the words you long to hear, but he carries your love like a sacred memory. And in the quietest ways, it is changing everything. There are things you cannot see yet. Movements happening in the unseen. A choreography written in the heavens long before your heart began to ache for him. The angels say, "She thinks nothing is happening. But we are working where eyes cannot follow." This delay you feel, this limbo, it is not abandonment. It is alignment. A sacred pause designed to prepare, not punish. You see his hesitation as doubt, but heaven sees it as sacred timing. There is a plan, one vast and intricate. And you, beloved soul, are not waiting. You are being led. Every tear you shed has been gathered. Every prayer, whispered in the quiet of your room, has been echoed back to you in grace. He doesn't know it yet, but even his resistance is part of the map. Even his silence carries purpose, because it's in that silence that the divine speaks most clearly to the soul. The angels are showing me timelines collapsing, paths rearranging, hearts softening in perfect rhythm. You are not alone, not even for a second. The guides have their hands in this. Your ancestors are whispering your name into the winds of change. And Spirit is holding the thread that ties your souls together, weaving it tighter with every surrender. The angels want you to know. His delays are not rejections. They are initiations. God is not late. He is intentional. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Habakkuk 2 verse 3. So trust the stillness. Trust the stretch. Trust that while you cannot see the roots growing, they are. And when the time is right, not by human clocks but divine timing, he will move. Not out of fear, not out of habit, but out of knowing. And it will be undeniable. Until then, walk with your head held high. Your path is sacred. Even when it wins. Even when it's quiet. Even now. He wants to speak. You can feel it, can't you? That ache behind his silence. That storm he hides behind careful eyes and half smiles. But the words won't come. Not yet. Because what he holds inside isn't simple. It's ancient. The angels say. He doesn't fear rejection. He fears being truly seen. To be loved is one thing. To be known is terrifying. And you, beloved soul, don't just love. You see. You see through the armor. Through the deflections and bravado. Through the stories he tells to protect himself from a deeper truth. That he still doesn't believe he's worthy of staying loved. He was told, somewhere along the way, that needing is a weakness. That softness leads to loss. That vulnerability is an open door to heartbreak. And so, even now, even with you, he stumbles when the moment comes to reach out. He writes messages he never sends. He drafts confessions in his mind, only to erase them before his mouth can shape the words. The angels are watching this struggle. They say, his silence is not emptiness. It's a battlefield. You are the first safe space he's ever truly known. But safety requires surrender. And surrender means undoing years of survival. This is not a question of love. He loves. Oh, how deeply he loves. But he doesn't know how to love without fear yet. And so he waits. Testing the waters with glances and pauses and nearly spoken truths. You deserve clarity. You deserve presence. And still, the angels ask you to hold compassion. Not to excuse the distance, but to understand the depth of the war inside him. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147 verse 3. The divine is already working on the places he can't touch yet. Already softening the calluses around his heart. Already preparing him for the moment he will finally say, "I was always yours. I just didn't know how to hand myself over without trembling." When that day comes, you'll know. Not because of the words, but because for the first time, he won't be hiding behind them. You've done all you could. Not in desperation, but in love. In quiet, sacred presence. And now, the angels kneel beside you and whisper, "Let go." Not of the love, but of the outcome. You were never meant to carry both hearts. Only your own. Only your truth. Only the quiet knowing that what is yours will always return home. Not through force, but through recognition. He may come. He may stay away a little longer. But your light, your soul, was never designed to dim waiting for his. You see, dear soul, there is freedom in the surrender. Not resignation, but holy release. The angels say, she thinks letting go is giving up. But it's not. It's choosing peace over control. Trust over fear. This journey was never about holding on tighter. It was about learning when to open your hands. He is on his path. You are on yours. And though they may intertwine, they are not bound by your will. They are bound by love, by soul agreement, by divine orchestration that far exceeds what the mind can understand. So breathe, not in anticipation, but in reverence. You've shown up with courage. You've loved with eyes wide open. And that is enough. The rest is in higher hands now. Let your heart rest. Let your soul rise. Let your story unfold as it was always meant to. The love that is yours. The one that meets you fully. Sees you clearly. Chooses you freely. Cannot be lost. Because what is written in spirit cannot be erased by fear. The angels wrap you now in stillness, in surrender, in the quiet assurance that you have already won. Not because he came back, but because you remembered. You were whole all along.